one you want to see. The legendary Captain James T. Kirk, known in real life, sorry if that ruins it for you, as Bill Shatner, chose his favourite episode, City on the Edge of Forever. That's the one where Kirk gets to flirt with Joan Collins while Spock fiddles with their equipment. To vote for Captain James T. Kirk's choice, call 0900 144 7701. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, also known as that bald Shakespearean actor Patrick Stewart, chose an episode that he directed called In Theory.
Oh, they're lovely. Come in. Oh, I'm hoping.
Here we see Data, everyone's favourite android, getting the chance to experience more than just his extendable hard drive.
Commander Riker suggested this particular flower. He said it had worked for him in the past.
To vote for In Theory, call 0900 144 7702. Avery Brooks as Captain Ben Sisko in Deep Space Nine has chosen Far Beyond the Stars, an episode set in New York in the bad old days of the mid-20th century. For Far Beyond the Stars, call 0900 144 7703.
Personally, I don't see the attraction. Spaceships, flying saucers, men from Mars.
What's wrong with men from Mars?
Nothing, except it's all make-believe.
The favourite of Kate Mulgrew, otherwise known as That Woman at the Helm, Captain Janeway, is an episode called Counterpoint. Here, Captain Janeway gets the rare opportunity to do more than usual with her impulse engines. To vote for Counterpoint, call 0900 144 7704. Calls cost a maximum of 10p. Lines close at 9:15 and the winning episode will be shown at 9:55. You can also vote online at bbc.co.uk/Star Trek. It's easy to look back now and presume that Star Trek was always successful, but that wasn't actually the case. In the early years, Gene Roddenberry had to fight tooth and nail for the show's survival. But not even he could have predicted that 35 years later, it would have become the most successful television property in history. Next on Star Trek Night, From Enterprise to Franchise tells the story of a legend. Since we have the whole evening to indulge all our Star Trek cravings, let's savour the things that make it so special. Is there anything more peculiar in the galaxy than a Star Trek convention, for example? But first, we kick off tonight's selection of sidebow events with a warning. Part of Star Trek's charm is that it's unmistakable. From the utterly unforgettable design of the ship to all those rubber aliens and the occasionally cheesy special effects, you always know when you're in Star Trek land. Tonight, we go behind the scenes to check out the reality of dressing up space.
The biggest name in football.
I want people to turn around and say he was one of the best in the world.
Possibly the most stylish wife and mum.
I always wanted to be famous, and I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
Maybe the most flamboyant, the most controversial.
To me, I thought I was Chopin. To everybody else, I was Harry Antoinette.
Arguably, David and Victoria Beckham, Elton John and George Best. It's the hottest guest list he's ever had. No question. Parkinson, the brand new series. This Saturday, 9:05 BBC One.
Sally is Susan's best friend. She's completely off limits. You have seen into the very heart of the forbidden lands. You must never speak of what you saw.
I'll tell her lies.
She'll know. The prickles, the blurts.
No way as if.
And the head laugh.
Okay, what's wrong?
Coupling, tomorrow at 10 on BBC Two.
There's a time and a place for comedy. Save it for Mondays!
Welcome back to the 24th century, and here's a quick reminder of the rest of tonight's Trekkery.
Still to come in tonight's Trek Adventure, more fan films and classic clip compilations. Check out the plasma conduits in Warp Factory. Discover which episode has won the viewer's vote, and as a final treat, watch the feature film Star Trek IV, Voyage Home, the one with the whales. And if you haven't voted yet, here's what to do. The 4 Star Trek captains have selected their favourite episodes, and it's up to you to vote for the one you want to see. The legendary Captain James T. Kirk, known in real life, sorry if that ruins it for you, as Bill Shatner, chose his favourite episode, City on the Edge of Forever. That's the one where Kirk gets to flirt with Joan Collins while Spock fiddles with their equipment. To vote for Captain James T. Kirk's choice, call 0900 144 7701. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, also known as that bald Shakespearean actor Patrick Stewart, chose an episode that he directed called In Theory.
They're lovely. Come in. Oh, I'm hoping.
Here we see Data, everyone's favourite android, getting the chance to experience more than just his extendable hard drive.
Commander Riker suggested this particular flower. He said it had worked for him in the past.
To vote for In Theory, call 0900 144 7702. Avery Brooks as Captain Ben Sisko in Deep Space Nine has chosen Far Beyond the Stars, an episode set in New York in the bad old days of the mid-20th century. For Far Beyond the Stars, call 0900 144 7703.
Personally, I don't see the attraction. Spaceships, flying saucers, men from Mars.
What's wrong with men from Mars?
Nothing, except it's all make-believe.
The favourite of Kate Mulgrew, otherwise known as That Woman at the Helm, Captain Janeway, is an episode called Counterpoint. Here, Captain Janeway gets the rare opportunity to do more than usual with her impulse engines. To vote for Counterpoint, call 0900 144 7704. Calls cost a maximum of 10p. Lines close at 9:15 and the winning episode will be shown at 9:55. You can also vote online at bbc.co.uk/Star Trek.
But first, this is a tribble, a pesky ball of fur that procreates faster than a rabbit on Viagra. The tribble entry in the Star Trek Encyclopedia, yes, there really is such a thing, explains that the Klingons considered tribbles to be an ecological menace, a plague to be wiped out. In the latter part of the 23rd century, hundreds of Klingon warriors were sent to track them down throughout the galaxy. An armada obliterated the tribble homeworld, and by the end of the 23rd century, tribbles were believed to be eradicated. The extinction of the tribbles was reversed in the year 2373, when some live specimens were transported from the past aboard Starship Defiant to Deep Space Nine. It's all true. Watch this.
Now on BBC Two, we have the Treknology.
Science is one of the real pleasures of Star Trek. The inventions and the technology are as popular as any of the characters. The concepts of warp speed and wormholes as familiar and believable as Spock and Dr. McCoy. But did you ever wonder what exactly it was, or how the idea of the transporter was born? Well, pay attention. Here comes the science bit, and look out for the first ever sneak preview of the latest Star Trek series, Enterprise.
That are surprising us, and there are probably things that we cannot even imagine that are more astonishing than anything that we've ever seen on Star Trek or any other science fiction.
But before we get back to the main event, there's time to catch your breath with another brief Star Trek sidebar. For those of you who want to, the final front room is just for you.
completely off limits. You have seen into the very heart of the forbidden lands. You must never speak of them. The prickles, the blurts.
No way as if.
And the head laugh.
Okay, what's wrong?
C2.
There's a time and a place for comedy. Save it for Mondays!
Revealing the real Sherlock Holmes.
If a spirit comes, do not...
Doyle, is there something wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Real danger.
Be careful.
I beg you to be strong. And
In the crime drama where nothing is what it seems. Murder Rooms, the dark beginnings of Sherlock Holmes, a new case. Tuesday at 8:30 on BBC One.
Our mission, to voyage deep into the abyss, where no one has been before. New creature, the hairy angler, discovered by our crew. The blue, at 9 o'clock on BBC One. Until now, we've only touched the surface.
Live long and prosper with people.
It's almost come for me to hang up my tribbles and toddle up the wooden hill to Bedfordshire, but don't despair. The final curtain is not yet ready to descend. Make yourselves comfortable, cool and settle in for tonight's feature presentation. Star Trek, The Voyage Home. And in my humble opinion, the best performance from seafaring mammals. Well, that's just about it for tonight. Hopefully Star Trek will last for another 35 years, and I for one will be watching. And for those of you who lasted the course, congratulations. Now, just for you, a little something extra. Thanks for watching, and good night.
You have seconds to take out this German gun position. Who would you want at your...
Hackman's off to a flying start. Can he catch the train? There's trouble on board. Hackman, on. Hackman's a madman. Watch out! Ouch! Nutter! Watch one of the classic races of all time, the French Connection 1 and 2. Burst off the grid Wednesday at 9 on BBC Choice. It's entertainment, it's digital.
I think she's actually here quite trashed.
Oh dear.
This is shocking TV.
If you thought that was shocking, you should see what the team suggests.
What you're going to have is a how to strip lesson.
Trust me, you do not would like to meet Wednesday at 8 on BBC Two. Buzzcocks coming up in half an hour on BBC Two. Southend now with Johnny Vaughan in Orrible.
Is it the same as the last one? Cheers. Later.
Hey, Tavier, it's scum! Where, hey, here now! I don't know, we'll sort it out. Oh, yes. Oh, no, my livelihood!
Suppose you think this is funny?
All right.
Save it for Mondays! Comedy tomorrow night from 9 on BBC Two.
A bit of do with Buzzcocks.
Sally is Susan's best friend. She's completely off to the very heart of the forbidden lands. You must never speak of what you saw.
I'll tell her lies.
She'll know. the prickles, the blurts.
No way is it?
Okay, what's wrong?
Coupling, Monday at 10 on BBC Two.
There's a time and a place for comedy. Save it for Mondays!
BBC News 24 is with you through the night on BBC One now, and BBC Learning Zone kicks off with Dynamo and Slow-Mo at 2 a.m. here on BBC Two. CFAX and all of us here wish you a very peaceful night.